Not even 5.
Too bad. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Court of Random Opinion. My name is Lauren Neidigh, and this is my friend Omar.
What's up, Lauren?
Nice to hear your microphone's working tonight.
Oh, no. Well,
yeah, everyone, sorry for the delay. I was eating a steak, and that was more important. Okay. Anyways, I wanted to have Omar on because I read that, the judge had granted the New York Times motion for stay, and people had a lot of questions about that obviously I couldn't answer.
no.
What you just did a stream about that, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what did you think of that whole?
I think that the Times lawsuit is the lawsuit against the Times is going to get dismissed.
Really?
It's a weak case. They have not pointed to specific instances of false statements. They were reporting on a lawsuit that was already pending. First Amendment protections stuff. The judge basically says that, look, it looks to me pretty likely that they've made a prima facie case for dismissal. So it looks like when I do inevitably rule on this, it's getting dismissed. Wayfair comes out and says, yeah, look, I realize that the case isn't the strongest. Well, then what the fuck are we doing? So it looks to me like it's going to get dismissed.
So if they're going to do an amended complaint, because they said yesterday they were going to do an amended complaint, then
they wouldn't have to.
Is there anything they could put in there that you think would change that? Like, is there anything at all that they could?
An actually published defamatory statement as a result of New York Times journalistic negligence, I guess, would probably be the standard. So far, they don't have it. They have ideas. They have a lot of conjecture, speculation. They don't have evidence. And they can't point to anything that it's already in existence. So unless one of the reasons why they might be prejudiced by this stay being granted is because now they don't get the internal communications between the New York Times and possible co-conspirators, maybe, arguably. I'm really stretching it, but all the other co-conspirators are parties to the case and free reign to get discovery on them anyway. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
So there's all of that.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's obviously not the outcome I think a lot of people are hoping for, but I don't understand the fair reporting thing, obviously by like the lawyer standards. I'm just kind of like, I think what they did was scummy, but I don't understand the legal aspect of it at all. So
like, why is people so upset about the New York Times? Like, what specifically did they do other than like report stuff?
So it was just sort of the practice of like telling, so it's like the Friday before Christmas, they emailed these people at like 9:00 at night, and they're like, you have till noon tomorrow to kind of respond to all this stuff. And then they published a couple hours early anyways, which was like 7:00 on California time where the defendants are. And they like didn't really give them much time to defend themselves at all. And they just kind of went ahead with it. And they had sent an email to like a bunch of different people. I think one person responded on time. I don't know if they even put that whole statement in their article. But the thing is, like, even though that's maybe not illegal, people are mad because it's just like that was like a really crummy thing to do. And I'm saying, like, even if that's like a regular, even if that's a regular journalistic practice, like even if anybody would have done that because they wanted to get the scoop or whatever, I would still think that's pretty fucking scummy. So
I mean, maybe they had noticed that they weren't going to comply anyway. Maybe they already got a stimulus. Look, we're not complying with this deadline. So whatever you got, they could have got like a letter from their attorney because they were already involved in litigation. That look, whatever you're about to publish is defamatory, and I'm putting you on notice right now. If you run with that without giving us time to do our due diligence, then we are going to include you in a lawsuit, like a cease and desist letter like that. Maybe that would have been something different. Like, no, that might have shown actual malice. I don't give a shit if you look, I'm publishing it anyway. How about that? And then they would have. But if it was like the standard, oh, we have no comment because we're in the middle of litigation, then I'm going to report that there is all these shitty things being that is being alleged by Lively in this complaint and all of that. So yeah, shitty thing to do, but it's not defamatory.
Helene, thank you for the $50. Thanks for all your hard work, Lauren. Well, thank you for watching us, Helene. Yeah. So somebody says, "Don't hear Dave Neal said it best. Journalists do your fucking job." Did Dave swear? Dave doesn't usually swear.
He does swear, and he gets really mad.
Ooh. I missed that one because I was working today. But no, I agree with that comment though. Like my whole shtick is like I don't know anything about specific laws and stuff like that, but I have moral outrage that I'm sitting here. I'm just gonna preach to my camera, you know.
I don't know. Maybe that's why it just hasn't resonated with me. Whatever the Times did, like, what do they do? They were shitty to people are reporting on. Oh, go figure. I don't see that a million times a day. I mean, did they break the law? Are they liable for these causes of action? That's really my question. From what I can see, no.
So
You can say it's shitty, but yeah.
Does it matter if somebody was saying that it was shown somehow that they had been working on this for months, way before the CRD was filed, and there was somehow some evidence of that? Does that matter? Like, will it make a difference?
Okay. If that is actually real evidence, they have to prove that they maliciously or with reckless disregard for the truth published false statements.
So let me take a look at this real quick.
All right.
I'm gonna pull this. Go ahead, but I'm gonna pull this up while you're talking.
All I was saying was, if there's evidence that they knew that they were going to publish something months in advance that was knowingly false, and had been giving various opportunities to understand and learn that it was false, and published it anyway, that's both possibly malicious, but definitely reckless of a public figure. That would be a defamatory claim.
Okay, so then we might have something there. Hang on, I'm pulling up this amended complaint just to double check. I will search the timeline so we don't have to look at everything, but like some of that was in there, and I guess they're going to amend the complaint to add more about the metadata and stuff that they were able to look at and say, well, you guys, were working on this for months in advance.
You have to also understand too that this judge basically said that, look, it looks like they're going to win. It looks like I'm dismissing this case. So, and he's going based off of the pleadings. So whatever you're about to show me, assuming that it's in the amended complaint, the judge has already seen it and he's not impressed.
Let me see. I don't know if it's in the timeline or in this. So I have both of them pulled up here. I'm going to share the screen. Nope, that's not what I want. Okay, that's the timeline. I don't know if I want to look at the document here. And remember, Bruce and I did this over 2 days, so I'm not my recollection of every last detail is just not going to be great. But let's see.
I once read this too, around the same time that you did, and I have zero recollection.
Oh my god, I cannot spell tonight. I'm searching the. Oh my god, I'm sorry, guys. All right. Nope, that's not what I wanted. There we go. All right, there's New York Times. Okay, what do we have here? So we'll just read through this stuff on the Times because there's I did a search on this term. Yeah. The New York Times companies maliciously and recklessly propagated falsehoods. Okay.
That's just stating a cause of action, basically naming the elements. That's not really what we're looking for.
Here it is. It appears that Lively worked for months with the equally powerful New York Times to prepare a false and damaging narrative to deploy against the Wayfarer parties. Not surprisingly, she prepared an administrative complaint with the CCRD in an attempt to use the litigation privilege to shield her behind-the-scenes conspiracy with the New York Times. But upon information and belief, the CRD complaint was filed only after the Lively parties spent months feeding falsehoods to the New York Times, intending that they be disseminated to damage the Wayfarer parties.
Fine. So then I guess the question for the judge is, show me any shred of evidence that supports that claim. You're saying that the Times conspired with Lively to do all these things. What are you basing that off of? Is it a text message? Is it an internal email?
So I guess that's why they're saying they're going to amend, is that they can put more of that in there to kind of.
And fair play. If they can do that, fair play to them. Yeah. But they just haven't yet. And without it, things getting dismissed.
Yeah, because people are saying they have the metadata over here. And the earliest metadata from the article that was found was that the text message dated October 31st. And this article went out December 21st. Yeah. So we might actually have something going on here. But
this metadata can't come out in any of the official exhibits?
Let's take a look at this timeline and see if maybe it's in there. Because I know it was mentioned here. And if someone in the chat wants to help us out as well, if we're missing something, aka I'm missing something. I don't know if you guys saw there, but Bruce said, I memorized the whole thing, so if only he could help us. Bruce, if you want to join us, you're welcome to. But I know you got some stuff going on today, so
not only did he memorize it, he rewrote it in binary.
I don't know. Bruce is kind of a smart cookie, so he probably just knows everything. You know,
he rewrote it in Swahili.
All right, that might be a little far. All right, let's see. Not that. I'm going to move over to the timeline really quick.
All right.
Find it. And I'm assuming you saw that Taylor Swift was apparently contacted about a deposition.
Yes.
Which the judge says the depositions are not going to happen soon. Would they so when they do that, would a lawyer for Taylor Swift be able to challenge that in any way to be able to say, like, we don't want her to be deposed or there's no reason she should be deposed?
I mean, they could challenge it, but on what grounds?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you, dude.
Look, you have a right to subpoena witnesses. They got to sit their ass down for deposition. Those are like quasi-court orders, basically. You could disregard it, but if they want to subpoena her, they're going to do it. Mm-hmm. Not anytime soon, probably, because I imagine that they're going to wait until they have all of their written discovery done, at the very least, because some attorneys do this thing where they'll be like, look, I'm requesting that you produce the following documents at the time of deposition. I hate doing that because then I got to read it and understand it at the same time as I'm trying to depose. I'd rather have it all in a row and hit her with what I'm going to hit her with. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that whole thing. And that way she's not tipped off to anything I'm going to question her about. I could question her about the entire universe of the case. And so we'll see.
Somebody says, on what grounds I don't want to. I don't know, man. If I were like a multi-millionaire or a billionaire or whatever, and I could try to get out of something like this, I probably would.
Literally say that I'm on my deathbed. I'm literally got, you know, I'm on whatever. You're in a hospital, incapacitated. Fine, we will bring the court reporter to your hospital room.
Yeah, but we're talking about rich people, Omar. They don't have normal person brain, as in we have to follow the law and stuff like that. Like,
how many depositions have Donald Trump sat for?
Huh?
How many depositions have Donald Trump sat for?
Oh, dude, I don't know. I stopped paying attention to that because I don't politic anymore. So
Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, the richest people in the world still sit for depositions because you can't just say I don't want to.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say this, and people can disagree with me, but some of these like really higher tier or married to men who are a higher tier, like celebrity women, I feel like they don't feel like the normal social norms and rules and everything apply to them sometimes. So they might act like this is like the worst thing in the world. How is this happening to me? And then, try to fight it and go through all that. I don't know how this is going to go, obviously, but that's why the thought popped into my head where I was like, will she try to fuck with that? You know,
they don't apply until they do. And then, you know, it's like, crybaby, whining, dragons.
Chassie says, I never comment, but I love your channel, and that is one beautiful man. Oh, I just had to say, you should see his father. Woo. No, I'm just kidding. I have a running joke about Omar's dad because it's not a your mom joke if you're gay. It's your dad joke, right?
Running joke is Lauren is my dad.
Because no, absolutely. But if I said something about your mom, you might think I was serious. So I have to make your dad jokes instead.
Oh yeah, my mom is off limits, but my dad, you can talk about shit about him all the while.
I know. I figured
dads were never off limits. You could talk about them. Why did mama jokes become a thing? I don't understand why them.
I didn't ask questions because it became a thing when I was in middle school. So
totally.
All I knew was it was funny to me. So somebody's saying, can he resubmit? Yes, they're doing another amended complaint.
Yeah, a second amended complaint.
Here's some of this stuff. December 21st, not that one. Hang on. Here it is. January 24th. Discovery is made that the main imagery used in the article has metadata creation timestamps days prior to publication. Let's see. The main Baldoni image that the headlines the article was finalized on December 16th. So they finalized it, I guess, 5 days before publishing. Let's see here. And there's 12/18 right there. Okay. 12/17.
So I think the problem that we're having, Lauren, is that you're trying to solve the origin of a defamatory statement that hasn't been identified.
I mean, I'm just trying to find where they pointed out in this freaking document,
like
what it was.
What false statement was published?
Oh, here it is. Hang on. the Wayfarer parties found 41 instances of an October 31st, 2024 timestamp related to text message storage and styling into BirdKit, which are believed to be the content management systems for the Times. Let's see. On information and belief, the 2024 1031 does not correspond to the message embed generator, but rather when they may have. I don't know anything about frickin' BirdKit, so that's a tricky one for me. But so there's the metadata with the timestamp and all that, and it says here they're showing a screenshot of something that says, "I think we need to put the social combat plan into motion," and then Melissa Nathan says, "So do I." Within days, the group was working with Mr. Wallace. I don't know why that particular screenshot was included. Let's see. So we have here, it says this article, book review Tucker Carlson, was published on May 3rd with BirdKit timestamp for the text messages of April 14th. So I guess they're just demonstrating that that's how that works.
So riddle me this, Batman.
No, I'm not Batman. I'm Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Let's assume all those things are true.
Mm-hmm.
They are saying, the Times is saying that all they did was report on an official legal complaint that was filed by Blake Lively with the California Civil Rights Department. And under New York's fair report privilege, journalists are allowed to report on official legal proceedings. That's one. Their second argument was that they were just simply reporting on Lively's complaint. There was nothing defamatory in it. If all they're doing is, if what they're claiming is the damaging defamatory statements against Lively, if those statements were uttered in the pleadings of Blake Lively and all they did was report on that, how does that rise to the level of defamation, even if everything you're saying is true about the timestamps going all the way back to October?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Sorry, somebody said something here that I was wondering about, but I can't find it now. God damn it. Winona says Taylor's probably strumming a guitar, writing her next platinum album, next 5 platinum albums, probably, bro. Like, oh man. Okay, let's see. I want to move back to this one more time just to check it. So, at what point does something become an official, like, legal process or legal complaint? The CCRD. So, if they're filing with the California Civil Rights Department.
So, like, you're on Pacer, right?
Right now I'm just on a PDF, but
Pacer is but you get documents from there.
Yeah.
And on Pacer, that is a platform that is available to the general public.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually representative of the official court docket of all the filings of an individual case.
Right.
So once a document drops on a docket, such as Pacer, and you were up at like 11 at night, it's like, holy shit. There was like a response to the thing, and then you got like 5,000 people like wanting you for your rendition of what the thing was filed. It is now an official pleading, and it falls under the spectrum. So insofar as once the pleading was filed and it was made public record, they're allowed to report on it because anybody that was reading that article could have looked it up themselves.
The issue is, I guess, that they had the complaint before it was filed.
That might be true, but like, for example, okay, so there's a lot of things that I have before they're filed, lots of things. And they're never, ever a thing until the second that they're stamped by the clerk.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that I have a thing, it could be like speculation. Like, for example, let's just say I had a copy of Lively's complaint. All of that may contain, lots of bad information, whatever. But now she's signing it. It's I forget if it's verified or unverified, but she's saying on information and belief, all of these things are true based on the following evidence. I allege that Justin Baldoni did all these things. Mm-hmm. And she files it and it's stamped by the court. She's on the hook for that. She can no longer back out of it. It's actionable now because it's been made public. And Baldoni, even if she wanted, as he saw in the Laura Owens case, to withdraw that complaint, she can't just unilaterally do that anymore. Mm-hmm. He, once he responds, gets to do things, right? Gotcha. So that's kind of the difference.
When we're talking about a right to sue letter, which is like they issued that to her after the CCRD complaint, what is that? Can you tell me about the context of that? Like, what does that mean and what does it do? And why do you have to have that to sue? I don't understand that because it was mentioned in the Jed Wallace suit.
What was the context of the right to sue letter? Was it like written in a contract somewhere?
I can pull it up. Yeah, give me 1 sec. So this was brought up in the Wallace complaint because Jed Wallace had mentioned, they were defaming them obviously because they had said all that bad stuff about them, but they didn't name them in the lawsuit. And then they added Jed Wallace to the lawsuit. so, oh no, hang on, give me 1 second. Also, as far as the public documents you see on Pacer and stuff like that, where would I find the CCRD complaint here? Because we're looking at it right here.
Oh, is the CCRD not in there?
No, I don't see it, dude.
You might see it under, because it was consolidated, right? So it might be under the original case numbers.
That'd be the one we're using because they consolidated everything under her docket. So it'd be right here.
Yeah. If they lied about reviewing thousands of pages of original document.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot I pulled that up. So they said that they reviewed thousands of text messages and stuff like that related to all this, just to confirm what she was saying was true.
The Times?
Yeah, that's what they said.
So that would be proof of their due diligence. If they lied about doing it, then I guess there's not due diligence, and maybe you could get them on the reckless thing. If you can prove that they're lying about that, like there is not in existence thousands of text messages that corroborate it. So remember, it's either you're doing it on purpose or you're doing it recklessly. So maybe you believe what they're saying, but you didn't check your sources like you're supposed to as a journalist. Maybe that's what Dave Neal meant. Do your effing job to the journalist.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're not checking your sources and you can prove that you didn't actually review thousands of text messages, now it falls within the purview of a reckless dissemination of information, which, if false, can be proven defamatory.
All right, let's see. I have to move our heads really quick. Nope. There we go.
Are you just looking for the original CCRD or CRD?
Yeah.
I think I could.
Oh, I mean, I'm just trying to find where we could find it publicly. Like, how did that become a public thing? You know what I mean? So I have here's the initial complaint.
So the CRD. Oh well, I guess it was published by a lot of. I got it from news outlets. That's where I got the original.
Yeah, me too. But that's what I'm saying. Like, where did it come from originally? Like, how
actually,
did they get hold of it originally?
Somebody sent it to me. That's how I got it initially.
No, I found it on some local news website or something.
Because you're a king.
Sure. Hang on, let me see. We'll go back to documents. Let's look here on Core Listener and see what we find.
Yeah, look under the 10049. Is it really not in there? Should be.
You want me to go back to Pacer? Hang on.
You know what? I will go to Pacer myself.
You go to Pacer. I'll go to Court Listener. Okay. We're going to get to the bottom of this.
All right.
Okay. So these are the things that I have bookmarked for alerts. Wallace. So this was his complaint, and he put so Wallace has attached the CRD complaint here from the February 4th filing. Sorry, I was just scrolling through there. Let's we'll download that.
Oh, they're making me log in.
Oh no!
What a pain in the ass.
Are you not good at remembering your passwords, or what's going on there?
I mean, I just prefer not to have to click the button. All right, let's see.
So here's the CRD complaint, but I haven't seen this anywhere else except for, when we originally saw those news headlines, and then here. I don't see it at all in the Pacer docket.
But I have. I am looking at the Pacer docket. There is the complaint against Blake Lively. All this complaint is Blake Lively, not the original series. I guess you're right.
Right. So that's what we're talking about. So like the lawsuit hadn't actually been filed until after the New York Times article came out. But the CRD had. And the CRD does not appear to be public And so that's why people are saying like the CRD, apparently the New York Times knew about the CRD, and then they reviewed all these text messages. This person's quoting the NY Times directly. It says, based on a review of thousands of pages of original documents, including the text messages and emails that we quote accurately and at length in the article. And it's based on that like text message that they have apparently reviewed and the CRD. So there was no lawsuit at the time of publishing, to my knowledge.
I see what you're asking.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a really simple explanation. I mean, come to think of it, I've never seen the CRD on a like court's docket anywhere.
Yeah, that's the weird part.
I've just always had it. I've never looked for it on a court sponsored website either.
Yeah, we have the New York Times article was published on December 21st, and Blake Lively's lawsuit was filed on December 31st, 10 days later.
Wait, say that again?
So on December 21st, the New York Times published their article based on this CRD complaint that's apparently not public, and a bunch of text messages and stuff like that they claim to have seen. But the lawsuit that Blake Lively filed was not a thing until December 31st, 10 days later.
When they published their original article, were they talking as if it had already been filed or if it was planning on being filed?
What's that? Sorry.
So the New York Times, when they published that article, were they speaking of the CRD as if it had already been filed or if it was planning on being filed?
As if it was filed. So CRD is a civil rights department, I think, right? Hang on, let's double check that. CRD complaint of employment discrimination before the state of California, civil rights department. Yeah. And then we'll get to the right to sue letter in a minute, but we do want to.
They filed their CRD on the 31st or the 21st?
They filed the CRD. Let's see, CRD complaints. It appears they filed that on December 20th, the day that the New York Times contacted Justin Baldoni.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And this is not a public document.
There's not a way to like go to the
Nope.
CRD website and just like look up there has to be.
Nope. I mean, we could try it. Let's take the 21st was the day that the article was published, but the 20th, the day that this was filed. This, and look at this. There's no information on this, right? So look at this. You can glean nothing from this except that a complaint was made. So they made that entire article based on this document that was filed on the same day, probably a few hours earlier. So that's where the confusion is coming from, because the lawsuit wasn't filed until 10 days after the article was published.
But what they're saying is that all of the stuff that they did publish, first of all, none of it is true. There was a CRD that had word that it was going to be filed, I guess. Mm-hmm. And all of the statements in the complaint alleged by Lively kind of mirrored what they were going to say. And the judge...
Wait. I don't understand. Can you start over and like dumb it down for me?
So this CRD is filed, right? And so look, the report, I haven't thought about that report in a long time, but if the wording in that report was, look, there was a CRD filed and then Blake Lively plans to do all this stuff, and they are writing all of the allegations that Lively is going to allege in her lawsuit that was planning on being filed, that was going to be supported by the CRD, which would have been required to bring the causes of action that she was bringing forth in federal court, then maybe the fact that the CRD was filed makes it official enough to bring it within the purview that now we're just reporting on litigation. They started the process.
But is this litigation? Because it's just a complaint that was filed, and then they gave her a right to sue letter. Let's look at the date of that right to sue letter. Hang on. So I'll pull this complaint back up. And then here's the right to sue letter, and here's a precursor. Hang on. Okay, so here's the right to sue letter. I don't know if you can see that on the screen. Yeah, I'm on the right place. Okay, right to sue letter. So the right to sue letter on December 20th says, to all respondents, encloses a copy of a complaint of discrimination that has been filed with the CRD.
You got that on the 20th?
What's that?
This letter's on the 20 from the 20th, and the
Yep.
article's on the 21st.
Yes. So
Okay.
this was issued on the 20th.
Okay.
And then Wayfarer was contacted for the New York Times article with all this information also on the 20th, claiming they had gone through thousands of pages of text messages.
That would have been supplied by Lively's legal team, correct?
I don't know who it was supplied by then. That's the thing. We don't know. They didn't say.
Okay.
So it kind of sounds like they were kind of working with the Times to kind of get ahead of the curve. And then once they started this process, they were like, oh, you guys can go ahead with this article. And then they didn't file the lawsuit until 10 days later. So now it's kind of like sketchy.
So what is their best evidence then? Well, what's the best case against the New York Times?
You're asking me, bro. I'm not a lawyer.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because from what I understand, there's a CRD, right? This is what they argue, and the judge seems to agree. Excuse me. Baldoni's a public figure. He says he's the one that has to prove that there was actual malice against him, and that the Times knew that the information that they were publishing was false and recklessly disregarded the truth. That's what they got to prove. I don't know what was in those thousands of text messages, but then they go out and they say, show me one statement that we printed that was false.
Let's do we have hang on. Let me look at this. Let's see. I don't think I can. I mean, this was behind a
They say they sought information from Baldoni and his team before publishing the article. They gave him like that deadline, and they like shifted a couple hours ahead and published it anyway, right?
All right. I can't. So since this is behind a paywall, I can't show it on the screen, but I have the article up right now because I'm still a subscriber. To New York Times. So give me 1 second here. So this was the right to sue letter though, and that was included in Jed Wallace's complaint. Okay, we can bury anyone inside a Hollywood smear machine. Private messages detail an alleged campaign to tarnish Blake Lively after she accused Justin Baldoni of misconduct on the set of It Ends With Us. So they heard back. So they wrote this and like were planning to publish it the next day. And they contacted Justin, Steve Sarowitz, Jamie Heath, the publicist Jennifer Abel, as well as I think one other person, maybe Melissa Nathan. And they were saying, you know, these are all the allegations against you. And they sent this email at most of the emails they sent at 9:00 at night on the Friday, which was 13 hours before they published. They got one response from the publicist. I believe it was Jennifer Abel, and I'll have to look that up because I have it on hand. But they got one response basically explaining why that stuff was not accurate and not true. And then they went ahead and published before they got any more responses back. Let's see.
I think I have an answer to your question.
What's that?
I'm looking up the law on the fair report privilege, and I guess the question is whether or not the fair report privilege applies upon the filing of any administrative complaint against any entity that gives rise to extended litigation, or if we have to wait until the actual civil complaint is filed. And I think the answer to that is as long as there's an administrative filing that attaches to it and sets in motion a larger civil complaint, then the fair reporting privilege applies. That has to be it. Now I'm going to look. I'm researching this real quick.
So yeah, I'm reading this thing here. So here's the quote about the thousands of pages of text that's still in there. Oh my God, an ad for Lucky Charms. I missed those. Okay, let's see.
We're still bad for you.
He wants to feel like she can be buried. A publicist working with the studio wrote an August 2nd message. So they're like direct quoting text messages. Let's see. Oh, and then they did end up adding this thing in here. It says an attorney for Wayfarer said in a statement to the Times that the studio, its executives, and public relations representatives did nothing proactive nor retaliated against Ms. Lively and accused the actress of another desperate attempt to fix her negative reputation. These claims are completely false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious with an intent to publicly hurt and rehash a narrative in the media, the lawyer Brian Friedman wrote. Mr. Friedman did not address her allegations about misconduct during the filming by Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath. He alleged that Ms. Lively planted negative and completely fabricated and false stories with media about Mr. Baldoni, which he said was another reason why Wayfair Studios made the decision to hire a crisis professional. I'm pretty sure the publicist, though, had written back and did address the negative and false stories. So that's kind of weird. Let's see.
Oh.
You should have a plan. God, this shit's long-winded. I already forgot what I'm looking for here, man.
Well, let me help you real quick.
Yeah. Most importantly, untraceable.
Right. So I think the answer is, oh shit. All right.
The report did not identify who was behind the attack. Google search index for Ms. Lively's name. Okay. A
So
brand marketing consultant. Go ahead.
Fair report privilege. As outlined in Civil Code 47 in California, privileged publication or broadcast protects certain communications made in connection with judicial, legislative, or other official proceedings. Other official proceedings, I think, is the key word. The privilege is designed to ensure that the public can receive information about official proceedings. So, in other words, it doesn't have to be in the form of a civil lawsuit. It could literally be a CRD complaint that gives rise to civil litigation.
Okay, so this is
statute,
and that's still what I have on the screen. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So this is enough to be a legal proceeding. Let's see.
In California, so the fair report privilege in California does apply to complaints filed with administrative bodies, not just to civil lawsuits filed in court. This is supported by a case of Olson versus Doe, where the Court of Appeal applied the litigation privilege to an administrative complaint, emphasizing the need for full and candid disclosure to a public agency. Additionally, there's another case, Health Smart Pacific Inc. versus Cabatech, confirms that the fair report privilege covers communications to the media about allegations in a complaint, which includes administrative complaints. So the CRD gives rise to the privilege, which gives rise to the protections, which gives rise to the judge saying, so what the fuck are we doing? Give me something else.
Rising here.
Give me something or I'm dismissing this complaint. That's why the judge is saying that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Now that we went through that whole thing.
And I was asking about the right to sue letter. Like, what's the point of the right to sue letter? I don't understand that.
Put it on screen.
Oh shit! Did I move my screen again? Sorry. No, it's right there. Hang on.
Oh, to all respondents, encloses a copy of a complaint of discrimination that has been filed with the Civil Rights Department in accordance with Government Code. Oh, this is compliant with Government Code Section 12962. Because they're implicating these specific sections in their lawsuit, they have to go through this process before they could bring those causes of action in a civil complaint. That's all it is.
Okay. All right. And then we have, what else did we have in Jed's suit there? One sec. There's the right to sue letter. What is this precursor? That's what I want to know also.
I have no idea what we're looking at.
Precursor, it's 81 pages, so I think it's just her initial complaint or something like that.
Their CRD? Because this looks like the actual complaint.
Hey, I'm not sure. Let me see. Well, let's go to the bottom and see what the date was.
Well, that's not very helpful.
What the? Okay,
you know, Lauren, I did this video in like 25 minutes. It's like, oh, well, there's all there is to talk about for this motion. We've been farting around with this thing for like a...
No, sir. That is not how this works over here. Okay. Let's exhibit B. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now we got to the bottom of this. Nope. Don't see. Yeah, still no date on this. I have no idea then.
Will.
Yeah. Complaint? Nope, that's Jed's complaint. Weird. I have no idea what when that went out then.
Complaint of Jed Wallace. There's these exhibits. Exhibit 3, right to sue letter.
Yeah, the exhibits are all Blake stuff.
I don't know what the precursor was, honestly. There's the CRD complaint, right to sue, L Magazine article. Gives a shit.
So that was all about Jed and how Jed was not listed in the lawsuit, but he was mentioned in those articles and stuff like that. By the way, his or her response to his lawsuit is due next Monday. So,
well, we'll certainly look forward to that. That sounds like a 3-hour live stream if I ever saw one.
Well, how is that going to go? What do you think?
Her response to the amended, is it her response to the amended complaint?
No, just to Jed Wallace. Jed Wallace filed a separate lawsuit in Texas.
It's just going to be more bullshit, man. I have no idea how it's going to go, honestly. I don't think that there's going to be any additional haymakers to be able to decipher or make sense of any of this shit. I'm really curious about some of the other questions that were posed by Lively's team against Baldoni, against him specifically. We'll see. I don't know what she's going to say. But, yeah, shit, we'll see.
I'm just curious if they can point to anything more specific as to why they think he did a smear campaign, an untraceable smear campaign. I don't know.
Well, it's the problem with a lot of this stuff. Like, a lot of it is just all of this is circumstantial. There's not a smoking gun out there. If anything, you could argue that some of the email exchanges and text messages back and forth that some of Baldoni's team was sharing in jest could maybe rise to the level of a smoking gun if you look at it sideways. But then you view it in context and it's like, oh, well, is that really enough? I don't know. There's questions. I don't know what, I guess that's the big question. What evidence are they going to pull out in that complaint that is going to shed light on the rest of this? And from what I can gather, their style is not, I don't even know if their style, I don't think that there's any earth-shaking evidence that's forthcoming that's going to make sense of any of these defamation claims. None. I don't think we're going to get to the earth-shattering stuff for a couple of months at least when some of the discovery is done and we get to start going over the depositions.
So when discovery is done, is that usually something the public can see pretty readily available or?
No.
Where did you go? There you are.
Oh, I'm right here. Usually, discovery is not filed on the docket anywhere. So if I send out 100 special interrogatories or something like that, that's usually stuff that's just exchanged between attorneys. It's extremely unusual that I would even publish or file with the court even the questions that I asked in discovery, unless I had a reason to do that. Like they're not answering my discovery. Here's the discovery that I sent out, and it becomes part of an exhibit or list or whatever. So I think that what you're going to see is the depositions that are made public, and I think that that's going to be purposeful on the part of the attorneys. I think if the attorneys choose to make public any of the discovery, that might be a move. Maybe they got this big smoking gun. They want to make another timeline. It's going to be based on stuff that was in the discovery. I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but it's not something that you just are going to be able to download. If you're able to see it, it's because the attorneys wanted you to see it.
Okay. I just want to make sure we get to everybody's kind of questions or statements here. CCRD is private. You can't pull it. New York Times provided a link. That is the issue. Is that considered an issue? If it's because obviously they sent it to them, privately, but
I think it would be an issue if Lively made it an issue.
What do you mean?
If Lively didn't want it out there, she dropped a CRD complaint.
But she did, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm assuming she gave them permission. And since she's the author of the complaint, then, who are you going to get mad at?
Okay. But wouldn't statements made above and beyond what is in the actual CRD complaint not be covered by the New York Fair report privilege? We're talking about California, I think. Thousands of
question. So Julia's right, and she's on the right track. So wouldn't statements made above and beyond what is in the CRD? Yeah, because the CRD was not the entirety of it all. The question is, in Lively's complaint, whatever the New York Times published, just point to one statement that's not factually true or that wasn't alleged by Blake Lively in her federal lawsuit. And if there's one, then great. Because now you got maybe a false statement that was published recklessly or, disregard for the truth and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the Wayfarer has not been able to point to one so far, which is why the judge is like, I'm going to dismiss if you can't give me something else.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So as far as this whole stuff with Taylor Swift, I know we only touched on that earlier. I wanted to know, have you like gotten any new kind of comments from people who didn't watch your channel before that are like very like, opinionated and like very focused on this, and like they get mad at you for not having the same opinions and stuff like that? Because I've been getting a lot of that.
I haven't been getting as many as you. I'm pretty like, look, I don't know who in the hell Justin Baldoni is. I've never heard about him before this case, and I don't give a shit about what your opinions of him are. I'm here to evaluate the evidence. I give that preamble, and it's been pretty effective. There has been like maybe a couple of people that are mad that I'm shitting on Blake Lively so much, but I'm just really attacking her evidence, because last night I went on stream and it was like, yeah, Lively's defamation suit against Baldoni, you can't just hand wave it away. Baldoni's team has some real questions to answer about the existence of certain things. Is that your beauty light, Lauren?
Yes,
Keep on.
absolutely.
I got one of those. Mine is pink.
Yeah, but you actually need it.
I know, that's true. Is that a Fender? Those what kind of guitar is that? Do you actually play the guitar?
It's a red one. I play it to the extent I play it to the extent that I'll like look up easy songs to play on YouTube and learn the chords. But I never went through like actual guitar lessons or anything like that. I was just like teaching myself on the internet. So I don't know much about honestly guitars at all. I was just like, I'll take that one because I have tiny hands and it's small.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
I tried to once teach myself the guitar on Guitar Hero. They made an actual game that you're supposed to plug in a real guitar. I was like, this is stupid. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
That's the end of that.
Oh man. Now I got a keyboard over there I do the same thing with, where it's like I'll play easy songs and stuff like that. It's really just for my own amusement.
Yeah.
I'm not a performer. So
but you are a performer. You got 12,000 subscribers that say otherwise.
Yeah, but that's different. I'm not a Taylor Swift.
On a stage you could fill like the PNC Center in Pittsburgh.
The PNC
That's stadium name. You could fill the Staples Center. You could halfway fill the Staples Center.
Fill it. I thought you said feel it. I was like, what do you mean?
No, we're not filling things. You can fill FILL like half of a professional venue.
I don't know, man. That's a lot. That's a lot to me. It sounds like a lot.
We're all here to hear your meanderings.
Yeah. Anyways, I've just gotten some weirdness lately, and it's not something I'm used to dealing with. I had somebody, and I don't use TikTok much at all because TikTok it's a questionable place for me to be. Sometimes I'm just kind of like, what are you guys talking about? To the point it frustrates me so much. So I don't use it very much. And I'm going to tell you.
I'm going to tell you a story, Lauren, about what happened to me when my channel first became a thing. Oh, like I felt this huge, and I'm talking about back when I had like maybe 2,000 subscribers. I did a story. I don't even remember what it was about, but this guy took issue with what I said about Natalia Grace or something. And I was it was on a case with her, and I was somehow being insensitive to some group of people. I don't even know how. And then I like published his comment like on my next show and was like, look, I'm not mad that he's mad at me, and I'm like trying to address his comment like educationally and like in good faith, and just like, hey, we don't have to. We could agree to disagree. I'm not mad at you. Let's come have a beer, whatever. And then I didn't ask you to put my comment up on your show and do this and that. I'm like, well, maybe you're just a fucking asshole. How about?
Oh my god.
Maybe I'll just not give a shit about the comments anymore. Just do my thing.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. That's one of the things that Joe Rogan gets right. You hear it all the time. You can't look at the comments sometimes because it's going to fuck with your psyche. Yeah. It'll make you depressed. Like I've had to deal with that, and I'm getting better at ignoring it. But once you get to that part, and you could just like read those comments and just whatever, you know, because 98% of the people that are commenting on your channel love you. There's always going to be 2% of people that are just going to, you know, they're angry at different things, whatever.
Yeah. So this wasn't so much an angry thing. It was just a really strange thing.
Oh.
It happened today.
Well, I apologize for my rant then.
No. You're good. I like the ranting. I like the story times. But I today looked at my TikTok and I saw some comments from somebody who, like, for some reason they got it in their head that I was like paid by Taylor
Oh,
because I'm not a hater, and so I've been like, I'm not a hater. I don't think that she's, like, all, like, she wasn't involved. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, like, I don't know anything. I can't characterize these people's celebrities' relationships behind the scenes. I'm saying I don't know what the nature of what happened really was. All I can read is like articles from magazines and stuff like that, and that doesn't really tell me the same as like court documents, which clearly show like what happened with Blake Lively. Whereas Taylor Swift is all mostly speculation. And so I'm just kind of like, I'm not comfortable really forming a pointed opinion at this point. And somebody got it in their head that I was like paid by Taylor. And I was like, first of all, I am in debt. So if she wants to pay me, I will accept. But also, that's not going to happen. Because the first thing I would do if she did pay me is I would tell everyone. So it's not going to work out. And then second, what makes you think that? And then I read, and they had like commented on like a bunch of my videos because I never check it, and they were like, "Oh, your dog is white. That's an Easter egg that lets me know that Taylor's paying you off, or you're with Taylor. Taylor's been working with Kirsty Flaw for years to make this happen." I'm just like, "What are you talking about?" And it's because I was like, my dog was white when he was born.
that's crazy.
And
Dude.
when I got him at the store 2 years ago, like, what's wrong with you? Like, just don't understand. Like, and so I've been getting some crazy stuff like that. Like, that was probably the weirdest one. And I finally blocked that person after a while because I was just like, is this person like having a crisis? I was like, I think you should step away for a minute. Just like take a deep breath. I'm just a random person. This is just a video of my dog. And they didn't respond well to that. It's like paragraphs and paragraphs. I'm like, I'm not even going to read that. I'm just going to block you now. Like, I don't even know.
So funny you mentioned, I did get a weird comment this morning, sort of like that, about the whole paid off thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's probably not the same person as yours, but this person said her amended complaint is the most plausible, and with the totality of his behaviors and the obvious retaliation smear, all the ridiculous justifications of his behavior, it will all be exposed. Already is. Many YouTubers are jumping ship. Many are talking, solicited for paid effort, pushing hate and false information. And then I just responded, well, I could tell you in good faith, no one has paid me jack. And I've been waiting for evidence. And like I said, I'm alive. And whatever I responded is like, I'm just following the evidence. I could give a shit about who wins, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ultimately, there's going to be a winner and a loser. I've been evaluating legal claims from the beginning, and I've been fairly objective. There's strengths and weaknesses to both cases. I don't think that the harassment claims are going anywhere, but I got questions about some of the smear campaign stuff on both sides, and we're just going to have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I get these crazy people. You're right. You were being paid by Blake Lively's team or Baldoni's team, I guess.
I would have quit my fucking day job by now if that were true.
Well, hell, maybe I missed the boat on that one because I can be bots. You know what? I will. If you give me enough money, I will say whatever you want me to say about Blake Lively.
Yeah, and I mean, there's also a lot of kind of interesting comments about like, and some people are joking, and that's fine, and some people have like legit like comments and concerns about that guy in particular, because I know Candace Owens did and some other people did like a deep dive on him or whatever, and so they're talking about her new crisis PR, the ex-CIA guy, and they're like, the CIA guy got to you and stuff like that, and I was like, no, my search engine optimization is just actually crap. Like, no one got to me. No one contacted me. It's just my thumbnails are shit. I'm working on it, but like, it's not because the CIA is after me. All right, it's because I'm not a professional YouTuber. So.
But you're doing people want to listen. The people are tuning into your show because you're giving them an honest, raw perspective of what's going on, and you're coming at it from like it's not just like a random angle. Like you have angles. You say the court of random opinion, but like the truth is you work in an industry where you have insights into some of the psychology of the things that are going on. You have lots of friends that could help you and fill in the gaps, and you're entertaining and funny and fun and cool to hang out with. And so, of course, people are going to want to tune in your show, but there are some people that are in it because they want their opinions validated. And there is certainly a segment of people, and you find it when you cover these true crime cases. I cannot believe you could possibly make a video and defend that piece of shit. It's like, well, what did I do? It's like, who are you? Where did you come from? They want you to, if you say a hint of anything positive about the person that they hate, they will go all in on you, and there's nothing you can do about that because that's not a reasonable position, and it's not an emotional state that you should ever hold in your hearts. And to the extent that they do, it kind of sucks for them. I don't know what to say, but
Right.
you're just putting content out there. So good on you and bad on them.
I'm not really bothered by like mean comments and stuff like that. So I will like occasionally I will troll people and just like have fun with it. But then sometimes I'll just screenshot it and then delete because I'm going to do one of those. You ever seen Jimmy Kimmel with the celebrities that read mean tweets? I'm going to read mean comments. I'm going to read mean YouTube comments. So I'm just saving those in my back pocket for some days. So like comments, like mean comments.
Let's just read the mean comments to a Lauren. That would be, but no one's going to be leaving you mean comments like that, though.
Oh, dude, no, I've gotten some. I saved them. Don't worry.
Oh, just compile them all.
No, yeah, they're in a folder, but only so I can use them later.
That's a really good idea.
Stir Crazy, thank you for the 5. Lauren, I haven't heard you use the C word yet tonight. Say it. Omar, you're a cunt.
Well, you were a twat. How about that?
I don't want to say anything bad about your mother. Damn it.
I
have no comeback. If I can't say your mom, I have no comeback to that.
I legit, after our show last night, called my wife a twat.
I forget know why. What you guys do in the bedroom.
It was something about, she kept on like asking me stuff, and I was like, let me just get in the bed then, twat, or something like that.
Jesus Christ. I think she should call you that, man.
Oh, she does. She calls me worse.
Sorry, my mom called me. Why is my mom calling me? Should we call my mom back right now?
Yeah, call her.
All right, hang on. I'll put it on speaker.
I'm not going to hit on your mom, Lauren. She's a married woman.
Yeah, that'd be pretty weird, man.
Yeah, I will not.
All right. Can you hear that?
I can.
Okay, good. Watch her not answer, dude. What to leave her a voicemail.
Straight to voicemail.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
We'll be on voicemail. Let's call Dad. I need to know why my mom. Oh, she left a voicemail. I'm scared, but we'll listen to it. Hold on. Oh, it's only 5 seconds.
Hello.
All it says is hello. What the fuck?
I thought it was you answering the phone.
Answer the phone, man. Hang on. Oh, she was on her way home, I guess. Okay, this is like 30 minutes ago.
Let you know she was safe.
Yeah, let me see what. I'm glad we're doing this live for everyone to hear.
Totally.
Oh my god. I didn't answer my mom's phone call one time, and now my parents hate me.
Hello, this is Dr. Neidigh.
Listen to those stupid ass voicemail messages.
Oh, did he say Dr. Neidigh?
Yeah, it's my dad. He's a forensic psych.
Oh, get a load of him.
Yeah. Good for you not hitting on his wife.
Hit on your dad. No, I don't want to hit on him either.
Yeah.
You're the only one that's hitting on parents nowadays, Lauren. That's not cool.
Well, I'm bored. So, it happens.
Oh.
I don't mean it, if that helps.
Well, it would make it funnier if you did mean it.
Probably, but I'm not that interesting. I'm not that brand of interesting. I'm not like weird. I'm just.
Yeah, you just pretend to be weird on in the movies.
Let's not pretend.
It's not pretend,
How
bitch.
dare you? I'm being paid by Taylor Swift to act like a weirdo. Oh my goodness. All right. I might actually go to bed on like a decent hour tonight. We'll see.
Unless the response drops, and then you're like, "Fuck it, I have to do this right now," and you're gonna.
I don't think they're going to do that tonight, but I will keep checking.
Well, if I happen to get the bat signal, I may or may not be awake.
Just keep your phone sound on, mister.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with my phone. It's like I got bad signal at my house for no reason. All of a sudden. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that sounds intentional. The CIA guy is probably paying someone to block the phone signal in your house.
Totally. That's exactly what's going on.
Kathy Shears, thank you for the $10. If New York Times prints article stating it as fact instead of alleged, could they be liable?
Yes.
Okay.
But they haven't done that. And nobody would ever do that.
I honestly didn't read the language very clearly the first time. I was just kind of like, oh my God, what's happening? And then I remember I wrote it off for a second there. I was just like, oh, that's kind of crazy. And then I remember the lawsuit came out and I was like, okay, I'll read this. And so I read Blake's initial complaint and I was like being super, impartial and removed. And, because I this is the only thing I've seen about this so far. And people in the comments, I remember, were just being like, Laura, no, this and this and this. And I was like, okay, but I'm going to withhold judgment for a second. And it took me a while to read Justin's thing. And I was like, oh no, oh no.
Like 99% of the time, if you hear lawsuits being reported on or allegations in general, or Law and Crime Network does it a lot because they report on true crime. They'll be like, look, I'm going to say a bunch of shitty things, but just understand that he is innocent until proven guilty. He's presumed innocent. He denies each and every one of these allegations, but here's all the shitty things that he did.
Well, that's how I talk about Casey Anthony now. So.
Well, did you hear about Casey Anthony? She's coming out on TikTok or something.
Yeah, dude, I did a video about that this morning.
You did?
Yeah, so she said she was an advocate for the LGBT community now. She was like, I'm a proponent for the LGBT community. and I was like, that's it. And I started searching gay conversion camp.
Would you be offended if somebody that wasn't gay wanted to be part of the LGBTQ community?
No, I just think they were fucking stupid. I probably wouldn't talk to them.
Well, that's fucked up. That's sort of like when Malcolm X told that white lady, he's like, yeah, you could do nothing for us.
Yeah, I'm kind of not really bothered by that. That just doesn't mean anything to me.
It's like that in his book and in the movie, she goes up to Denzel Washington playing Malcolm X. It's like, hey, is there anything I could do to support your cause? And he just cold, dead ass, looked at her in the eye. You could do nothing. And just walked off. That was fucked up. Man.
The CIA is monitoring y'all now. Well, the CIA...
Kiss my ass. Well, never mind. Oh.
The CIA is behind. They should have been watching me years ago. So it's something has to get this ball rolling.
They've been watching you for years, Lauren. You just didn't know it.
They must be so bored.
This is all a big simulation. We all live in the Matrix. The lady in the red dress and everything.
Hang on, let me pull. I'm gonna pull this up for you because some people don't. I don't think we don't know what I'm talking about here. Where was that? I did this morning. Nope, that's not it. Here we go. We're obviously not gonna watch the whole thing, but we'll just watch the first minute or something.
She wants to be an influencer.
That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done.
She knows she's going to make so much money off of that. She's rage baiting because she knows people are going to pay for a subscription just so they can comment on her Substack and tell her what a piece of shit she is.
What is a Substack, by the way?
From that,
a woman.
I've been hearing that word.
Substack is a platform. It's kind of like Medium, I think, where you can write and people can do subscriptions where they pay to get this person's exclusive writing or comment on their page. They can lock it to members only and stuff like that. So she's basically what I think is happening here. And I obviously can't say for sure, but please, let's be realistic. Is she's rage baiting people expecting and people are falling for it already because I went and I looked at her page. She's rage baiting people. So they'll pay money to basically call her a piece of shit. They're mad and they want to say what a terrible piece of shit she is. And so they're paying her money to go do that.
I always thought that the only way she was going to make money off of something like that is by starting an OnlyFans. When sycophants, sick people, would be like, "Oh, I'd like to see. I guess I would like to see her naked," and then she would be demoted to that level. But if people are literally giving her money to shower her with hateful insults and writing, I guess Fair play to them.
It's like it's twisted and it's fucked up, but it's kind of smart if you're in her position. Like you could exploit people for money that way. Yeah.
For sure.
If you're like an evil, terrible person, sure. Yeah. Mila Cade says, Omar, describe your channel perfectly. Oh, yes. Omar has a way with words. Thank you for the $2.
Sometimes. Hey, give me 1 second.
Yeah, sure. I'll play some more of this for people. We won't go through the whole thing, don't worry. Position with better intentions would probably intend to separate the. Hold on, I need to move this back a little bit because I forgot what I even said. On her Substack and tell her what a piece of shit she is.
My intention is to separate from that.
You know, a woman in your position with better intentions would probably intend to separate the hinges of her jaw from her asshole.
As a proponent for the LGBTQ
I stand by that.
community for legal.
What? All right, that's it. I want out. Hey, everybody. Gay conversion camp doesn't work, guys, but I was just clowning. Let's see. What are we going to here?
Of probably many recordings on a series that I'm starting.
A legal advocate. And
Researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011.
mother.
I start to advocate for
When you try to capitalize off of the murder of her 2-year-old child. And let's go to the last couple
directly.
of those.
Up until this point, that has never happened.
Friendsforprisoners.com. That is actually where I would go if I wanted to be pen pals with someone who should be behind bars. No thanks for the offer.
One of the main reasons that I'm doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There are also people close to me who have had some.
What do you and those people have in common? Did they also murder their children?
When necessary, people needed to step up, myself included.
The fact that those words just came out of your mouth. Where were you when you needed to step up for your daughter? Most of us see right through this because when you needed to step up for your daughter, you were putting her body in a trunk, allegedly.
As a proponent for the LGBTQ community for legal.
What? Oh, no. But still, I trust in Casey fucking Anthony.
On me. And now.
If anyone's doing a thrusting of you on a platform, it's you. You're thrusting yourself at society.
She's
and
terrible.
We just want you to go away. Slink off into whatever corner you came from. I'm sure there's plenty of other nice snakes you can hang out with.
Look at as a blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been.
Well,
The hell are you going on about snakes for? What was that about? What did I miss?
Mother,
Hi,
why did you call me?
because I like calling you.
Okay. Well, what's up?
I was just calling to say hi. We have shepherd's pie.
Hello.
Hi.
You're on the speakerphone, talking to 350 people.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Lauren's mom.
Omar said hi. You can't hear him, but he can hear you.
Hey, Omar.
Shepherd's pie sounds delicious.
So I just got home from work.
Oh,
Yeah, I had groups tonight. So
okay.
that's what I'm doing. So I didn't know you were on. You go back to your work
Yeah, I'll do that.
and hey, call me later.
No. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Lauren's mom.
Well, she's gone now.
Okay. She's
Oh,
gonna
man.
chew you out if you called her back. Oh, don't you ever put me on the speakerphone with 400 people or whatever.
No, don't be silly. She loves attention.
Ah.
Okay. Let me play. We'll play like a minute of this, and then we'll be done.
And since 2008. But I am proverbially standing in the light.
Well, if she's standing in the light, I guess I'll pass.
Standing in the light. Did you say proverbially?
Facing this piece, still going to keep my privacy intact. So you will get very comfortable with my car.
No.
And
Yikes. Oh no. I don't think I even need to explain why that was out of pocket. The lack of self-awareness.
with the current climate
How was
in
that
our
out of
country
pocket, Lauren? You gotta
especially,
explain it to me.
it's that much more important, which is why I am utilizing the Substack platform. Yes, I am
A child murderer? Yeah.
advertising this and
Oh,
publishing
shit.
this on TikTok, possibly also through other meta platforms, but my intention is to separate from that.
You know, a woman in your position with better intentions would probably intend to separate the hinges of her jaw from her asshole.
Is such an important resource for people to
I
utilize.
really
moving
hate this
forward.
woman. Yeah,
Lauren was
well,
on
you know,
fire.
a more important resource for you might be a plunger. because now all that bullshit you got clogged up in your mouth is spilling out all over my corner of the internet. You know, this is why I don't care what people think when they get irritated and they come up in my comments section complaining about me having a potty mouth. It's because there are people like this out there who I firmly believe, despite her not being convicted, I firmly believe killed her own daughter. She is an absolutely shameless, unapologetic, grifting cunt. I do not care if you don't like that word. Sometimes that's enough of that.
Oh, you know, I once yeah, you were on one.
I was so mad. This was last night, right before I came on your stream.
Like maybe a year or two ago, I don't know, when I was first getting started, I did a Casey Anthony mock trial, sort of. And I identified that the prosecution team royally fucked up that case. I didn't know how bad they fucked it up until I went through the exercise of examining how they presented the evidence and like the arguments they put forth. It was so bad. And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I think she killed her baby. But at the end of the day, I could see why they acquitted her. And it was shitty.
I was like 15 or something at the time. 14? No, I was 15.
What was that, like in 2009?
2008. So I didn't understand any of that. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but this lady's fucking nuts. And I remember that was like the first time when she got acquitted for that. That was like the first time I was just like, oh my gosh, people can really get away with anything.
She was like partying and twerking on OJ.
Yeah, dude. Nuts.
Wasn't that a visual?
Oh god. She's just the worst. Like I don't know. I was watching. I think I told you, and this was months back. It was around when David did that copyright strike, and I was like, we got off the stream, and I was like, okay, I'm watching this this interview of Casey Anthony's old cellmate, and that was like the last time I even thought of her existence. And then of course she pops up now on TikTok, and I'm just like, oh no. So yeah, I think that she's unfortunately going to make a nice little sum of money from what she's doing, because people will, you know, pay for that. I mean, not even just like to tell her off or whatever, but there are weird, like weirdos out there, like weirdos, and the internet connects those weirdos to like someone who will exploit it. So she doesn't even need an OnlyFans. She's just gonna get some like guys who are just like weird, like really into that kind of thing, you know? And so she's like, yeah, I'll respond to people and stuff like that. And I was just like, that's why I said, and you were probably gone when we went through this part of the video. That's why I was like, here's a website for prison pen pals. And that's where I would go if I wanted to talk to someone who should be in jail.
No, you know, I don't know, man. Casey Anthony, people get really upset when you start talking about that lady.
Yeah, because she's a cunt. Dude, where'd you go?
Oh, I'm ready. I had to mute myself because it was like a hacking up a lung.
Gross.
With the, you know, I know, totally. But no, I did my whole show running through the trial, and it was really anger inducing. And the biggest takeaway that I had from that case is they had her on like 188 different inconsistent statements, blatant lies.
Mhm.
Like she lied about her place of employment. She lied about, you know, timeline stuff. She lied about this and that. There was like these weird stories about why there was the smell of decomposition in the back seat. But it was plausible. Oh, because I had like decaying trash in the back seat. That throws off the scent. And that kind of took away the idea of, oh, but there was a cadaver dog that made a hit on the trunk of her car. And then they got like red herringed into the scientific jargon, and they completely lost the jury, they being the prosecutors.
Mhm.
And so in a world where reasonable doubt is a thing, I can see why they acquitted her. Although, in my opinion, yeah, she's fucking guilty. But check this out. It was either she was chiefly responsible for the death of her daughter, meaning at her hands, or that little girl walked out and accidentally climbed into that pool and drowned.
Yeah.
Or
the cover up would be super weird. Then I feel like
the cover up was going to be between her and her dad and like her mom, and there's a lot of weirdness going on. Yeah. I gotta revisit that at some point.
Well, I mean, like I said, I was a teenager at the time, so I was too busy focusing on who was saying what about me in class. So I don't remember obviously everything that was happening, and also my parents wouldn't let me see all that. So, but I do remember the gist of it and like how that ended up, and I remember everyone was just like so shocked by that, and there was like a huge thing. I don't know. I'll just like never forget that for some reason. It was like one of those things like when you're growing. Do you have something like from when you were growing up when you realized it was like one of the first things you remember that was like, oh my god, this was a crazy thing that happened?
Yeah, the LA riots.
What?
The LA riots back when Rodney King got beat up by those cops, and then they had the trial for them.
Okay.
I was in 6th grade when they had the LA riots, and the entire city was on lockdown. Like you couldn't go outside because shit was on fire. I remember that. And it was all over the news, and it was like this crazy, oh my God, it's like the apocalypse. And that was what was in, and before that, I guess it would have been like what, like Marion Barry. There was, I don't know, 88, the steroids. No, I guess the LA riots would have been the first one, probably. Maybe the 89 San Francisco earthquake, whatever. But LA riots is one that's universally that, and then shortly thereafter there was OJ. So those would have been mine.
Man. Yeah, I had I was 9, I think. 8. I was 8, not even 9 yet, when 9/11 happened. So I remember that one.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and then Casey Anthony. This is the 2 big ones. Teresa, thank you for the $10. Ken says hi. Can you please call him a cunt? Thank you.
Ken, you cunt.
Yes, Ken. You're a cunt.
He just wants you to know you're a cunt.
Ken,
and if you're not a cunt, your middle name is Twat.
Ken, you're such a cunt. Okay. I just A, got demonetized, and 3, there's going to be like at least 40 angry comments about that. Anyways, it doesn't matter to me, but apparently it really means a lot to some people that I say that word. So.
Oh boy.
All right, I got to go and watch TV. That's it.
Your timing is impeccable because I was like 4 minutes before my curfew.
Well, we were like, so we were sitting here talking. I noticed a lot of people were talking about like Meghan Markle in the comments, and I know people are like really like invested in Meghan Markle, and a lot of people hate Meghan Markle. The thing is, I gotta tell you, like, guys, I don't give a fuck about Meghan Markle. I don't know anything about her. She married some prince guy. He's a redhead. That's about it. I don't give a fuck about Meghan Markle. She played a good role in Suits. I thought I really liked that show. But as far as her being like a weird human being or whatever, I don't give a shit.
I don't know anything about Meghan Markle other than she was like a hot lady in Suits.
It's just not my cup of tea. I don't care.
She was Mike's girlfriend, and then she married the prince. That's what I know.
Well, she should have stayed with Mike, but whatever.
Whatever, man. No, did they break up in that show?
No. I was just kidding. Like, obviously, not in real life.
Oh, okay.
Character.
Well,
yeah.
Why does she even come up in conversation? That's weird.
I don't know. I see her come up everywhere, especially when we're talking about like this Blake Lively stuff. I'm just kind of like, whoa, okay. Well, I got to tell you, I simply do not give a shit. So I would be honest. I'm not going to lie to you guys and be like, oh my gosh, I'm totally going to look into this, because I'm not. I'm simply not. Especially when you like an artist. So like say I was a huge Taylor Swift fan and like all this stuff was going on. The last thing I'm going to do is look into it, because when I really like somebody's art or when I really like somebody's TV show or whatever, I don't want to get to know who they are as a person.
Yeah.
They will ruin it for me with their personality. Totally. So please don't do this. So I will never be digging into Meghan Markle and short of like her murdering someone's family or something. I'm not going to cover that. It's not my thing. So, Like,
have you ever met Robert De Niro? He's boring as fuck. Like most of these people, they're just boring, man. Like they're cool in front of the camera, but like they're just boring people. Like they got no energy for you. Mm-hmm. You're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, dude. All right, it's past 9 o'clock, and I said I was going to go to bed tonight by midnight, so I better get to playing Fortnite and watching TV.
Totally.
All right.
All right, Lauren.
You too, I'm guessing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
Totally. Me too.
All right. See you later, man.
All right. You take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. See you later. Thanks for coming. Don't forget to hit the like.